In this episode, I'll reveal 7 ways you can flood your inbox with high quality user-generated content. You're listening to The Liftoff Show, the podcast for ambitious e-commerce entrepreneurs, helping you increase sales, profits, and build a powerhouse brand fast. I'm your host, Austin Lovell, and welcome to the show. Welcome back to the Liftoff Show, and in this episode, I'm going to be going into user-generated content. And first, let's talk about how powerful it actually is. And some of the stats here, 92% of consumers trust organic UGC more than traditional advertising. UGC-based ads get a 4 times higher click-through than normal ads, and UGC results in 29% higher web conversions than campaigns or websites without it. So as you can see, just from those 3 statistics, the power of UGC is definitely there. You might also notice that if you're already sharing UGC on your social profiles from your customers, that the engagement is a lot higher, that people are commenting more, there's more likes, and overall, you're just getting a lot better response from your audience by posting user content rather than highly polished brand content most of the time. And that's what we've seen with our own brands. That's what we've seen with the clients we work with, is just an overwhelming response to UGC versus traditional brand content. And before we get into 7 ways that you can bring in more of this UGC and have more of it to use on your social profiles, on your website, in ad campaigns, and anywhere else you like, let's talk about what UGC actually is. So UGC is user-generated content, and that's any content, photos or videos that's submitted by your customers, that's taken by customers of your brand with your product. And anything that's submitted to the brand using a hashtag, whether it's part of a competition, a giveaway, or any of the other ways that we're going to talk about. And the power of this, much like what we talked about in a previous episode with CGC, is that it's raw, it's real, and it's actually from a customer, so people can connect with that a lot better. It's another person versus the brand. So let's jump into 7 ways that you can actually flood your inbox with more of this UGC and get more of it in, because I know generally the number one issue is, okay, it's great, UGC works so well, higher engagement, equals better web conversions, all of these amazing things. But getting more of it, when I'm chatting with brands and they say, okay, this is great, but how do we get more of it in? What is the direct approach to actually start getting this in either on a recurring basis or just get this huge load of it up front, and then you can focus on making it more recurring. So the 7 ways that I tend to recommend, and we're going to go through those now. The first one is run a competition. Now this tends to be one of the best ways to get more of it in a hurry. So you can get this huge flood of UGC in one go. And for a competition, you might have a special prize, and you definitely want to make sure it's worthwhile. And the way I like to think of it, I definitely think UGC is worth its weight in gold. So if you have a competition and the end prize is a $500 gift card to your store, or maybe it's this huge, ginormous bundle of your products, and people look at it and think, that's absolutely amazing. Like, I definitely want that. And even if there are people that maybe wouldn't enter into a competition in the past, all of a sudden they see this ridiculous prize and they're incentivized to join in. So make sure that you have a really, really strong prize. And with the competition, it could be submitting the most funny photo. It could be submitting best photo with the product. It could be the most humorous, the most, abnormal, unusual. Whatever you decide, you can promote that on your social profiles, distribute it out to your email list, and get people excited about the competition. And with a competition as well, you can also make sure that you have a hashtag connected to it, or it can be your existing brand hashtag. So for a competition, you're going to set the criteria, you're going to promote it out to all of your social profiles and your list and any way you can. And then from there, you're going to see the UGC start coming in, the photos, the videos, and then you can start reusing it from there. Number 2 is schedule a post-purchase email. Now, this is the easiest one, and it's often the one that is sometimes forgotten, that maybe 7 to 14 days after someone has made a purchase, obviously depending on your shipping times, you can have an automatic email sent to the customer and asking them, hey, we hope you really enjoyed it. Would you mind sending a couple of photos through? Would you mind shooting a customer review video for us? And then you can provide some tips. You can provide a bit of a framework or maybe some questions to answer in that review video, just to make it super, super easy for them. That's another great way to get it in consistently, because as you're getting more and more sales, as you're selling, it's not this competition that you have to build and create from the ground up and, strategize how it's all going to work. It's just a simple email that you can add to your post-purchase email flow if you have one, or if not, you can simply just create one and schedule it, as I said, 7 to 14 days. If your product gets there in 5 days, but maybe it's a skincare product and they need time to experience the results, you might have the email go out 30 to 60 days after they've actually made the purchase, so that when that email does hit their inbox and says, hey, we really hope you've enjoyed it and would you mind shooting a video review for us? And in exchange, we'll give you, a certain benefit, whether it's a gift card, free product, or something like that. They're going to be much more likely to shoot a review video because they've had time to experience it, time to use the product and see great results. And obviously, if it's a different type of product with a more instant result factor, then you can go ahead, and schedule that out a bit earlier. But it's a great way to get more in consistently without doing all that much extra work. And moving on to number 3, leverage hashtags. And most of you are probably doing this already, but when it comes to hashtags, you don't just want to slap it on your social posts. You want to use it in your Instagram, Facebook bios. You want to use it in your email campaigns. You want to use it on your product packaging if you can as well. You want to make sure that your hashtag is everywhere so that whenever a customer thinks about posting a photo with your product, that they know what hashtag to use, that it's tied to your brand, and that you can use that hashtag as sort of this catalog of UGC. So as you're going through and maybe you want to start reposting more, you can go to that hashtag inside of Instagram and actually look at what's been posted with that hashtag, then reach out to those people, send them a message and say, hey, we love this photo. We would love to share it on our profiles. Reply with yes, or reply with hashtag, yes, and then insert your brand name or something like that to give us permission, and we'll make sure we'll credit you in the post as well. Or you could send them a DM, directly and go ahead and just ask for permission that way. Using a hashtag is a great way to make sure that if anyone's posting content about your products and brand, that they're tagging you and that you can easily access that content later on. Number 4 is run a giveaway. So it's quite similar, I guess, to the competition style, but with a competition, you're going to be getting, this flood of UGC in. You're going to be picking maybe one major winner who had the best photo, the most interesting, or whatever criteria you actually set. But with a giveaway, we often find it best that every entry gets a prize. So if you go ahead and submit a customer review video, then you're going to get a prize regardless. And you could have a regular giveaway that you do every month or every couple of weeks. And you're constantly getting people engaged in the brand. And you're going to have new customers in those time periods as well. So they're going to see their first giveaway. They're going to want to enter because you'll have a great prize that they can get. All they have to do is submit a customer review video. And if you're thinking about what kind of framework tends to work best for a customer review video, maybe they start asking, or you just want to give them as much context as possible so it's super easy for them to shoot a review video, I often find that the problem, agitate, solution framework is the best for these customer review videos, where you get the customer to talk about the problem they were facing, what was happening before they found your product, what was keeping them up at night, what was that major hair on fire issue that they had. And then you go ahead and agitate that. They're going to talk about, why it was bad, why they wanted to get rid of it, all of those things. And then the solution part is obviously where they introduce your product and where they say, once I found this product, it solved that problem for me. It's made life so much easier by doing X, Y, Z. And the last part that I find is great to add is a recommendation. So after they've talked about the problem, they've agitated it, talked about, sort of their personal experience, and they've introduced the product as the solution to that problem and how it helped them solve the issue they were facing, you can then have a recommendation part where they say, would they recommend it? Why would they recommend it? And who would they recommend it to? And that's super powerful coming from a customer. Now, but heading back to the 7 strategies, number 5, we have call and ask your customers. So this obviously depends on the relationship that you have with your customers. Not every brand is going to be able to call their customers out of the blue and just say, hey, we would love to hear more about your experience. Would you shoot a customer review video for us? But you'll know if your audience is going to respond well to that, or depending on the relationship you have with your customers. That's another great option because it's a lot more personal rather than a giveaway or a competition, which is generally this sort of mass marketed promotion. With calling and asking, it's very direct, it's very specific, it feels very personal, and I think that's a great added touch. Moving on to number 6 is featuring UGC from your customers on your website and product pages. And not only are there the benefits of having UGC on your website, as we said before, I think it was 29% higher web conversions just by having UGC on your website, but also when customers see this UGC on your site, maybe they're buying, maybe they're a returning customer looking to, buy another product, they're going to see this UGC and it's going to increase the likelihood that they're going to share their own UGC or take a photo with the product or share that online because they know that you're the kind of brand that will promote that will share that. And that's awesome. It's sort of like a virtual high five when they post something, with your brand and with your product on social media, on Instagram or Facebook or wherever it is, and you go ahead and share it. You're putting it on your website. You're promoting that. You're saying, hey, we love our customers and the community and the brand. So it's sort of like a virtual high five. It's like a thank you for doing that. And plus, everyone loves a bit of a promotion, a bit of a share. So it's another great way to say thank you to your customers, plus to show them that, hey, if you do post something, we're going to share it. We're going to promote it. And so that's always a great thing to do. And finally, number 7, which is email 5-star reviewers. Now, different to number 2, when it was simply sending an email out to everyone who had purchased your product, in this, we just want to email your top customers, the people that have left a 5-star review before, and you want to reach out to them directly and go ahead and ask if they'd be willing to shoot a customer review video. Now, the reason that you reach out to them directly, again, it's more of a personal approach. Plus, they're already people that have left a review on your website. The likelihood that they're going to be willing to shoot more content or maybe do a customer review video is a lot higher than anyone else because they've already taken that time to review your product and brand. They're generally going to be the most passionate customers, the people that have seen the best results. And so you want to reach out to them directly. And regardless of the method that you end up using, or if you use multiple different methods, I strongly recommend having an incentive or at least having a special thank you bonus purely for submitting a customer review video. If they submit it, even if they're a 5-star reviewer and you've reached out to them personally and you said, hey, would you be open to shooting a video review for us? Here's what you could sort of say. Here are some points to touch on. If they do that, you still want to give them a bonus for doing it, whether it's a $50 gift card, whether it's, a special product, whether it's an exclusive bonus or anything like that to say thank you. Because again, I'm going to go back to what I said earlier on. UGC is definitely worth its weight in gold. So you want to make sure that you're rewarding your customers for submitting that to you. And now that you've got all of this incredible UGC, these photos and videos from your customers, how do you actually go ahead and use this? Well, the top ways that I tend to go for are reposting on social profiles, so on your Facebook, your Instagram, any other major platforms that you're live on and active on, resharing that content. So if someone puts up a post on Instagram with your brand hashtag, and they've just posted a photo, maybe it's a selfie with the product, then you want to go ahead, reach out to them first and ask for permission, whether that's a comment on the post itself, asking for permission, saying, hey, we love this photo, we'd love to share it to our page and to our audience. Would you be open to that? Just reply with, yes, or something like that, just to confirm. That's a great way. Or sending them a direct message. And because your customers are generally going to be following you on those social profiles, if you send them a DM, chances are it's going to go straight through to their primary DM inbox. It's not going to get stuck in the request folder, because if they're following you, it's just going to go straight in there. And that means that they're going to see it quite often. Heading back to the different ways you can use it, reposting on social platforms, using it on your website, as we said before. So that could be a banner on your homepage. That could be using it in your product image carousel on your product pages. Or it could also be using it in your ad campaigns. And we find that UGC images, very basic selfies, they don't have to be ridiculously high quality, often perform the best in middle of funnel and bottom of funnel campaigns for retargeting campaigns. And they just blow other stuff out of the water. So that's how you can go ahead and actually use the creative. And we've already talked about, how to gain permission. You can send a DM or comment on their posts. So these are some ways, 7 ways that you can flood your inbox with UGC. And if I was going to recommend the top methods to use, it would be the competitions and giveaways to give you this huge influx of UGC. And then from there, set up a post-purchase email asking for a video review in exchange for a gift card or a special bonus, and just put that as part of your post-purchase email flow, because then you're going to get this huge influx of UGC. Then you're going to consistently have more coming in from those emails. And then of course you can leverage your brand hashtag everywhere. When I say everywhere, Instagram bio, posts, every social media platform. Make sure it's a consistent hashtag that you can use everywhere. Use it on your website, use it on your product packaging if you can, to promote people to share your product and take photos and videos and share it online. Not only does that expose it to their audience and people that are following them, but also you can then easily see that footage and easily see that content if it's posted online by searching up those hashtags and seeing what content your customers are posting. And that brings us to the end of this episode. And one thing I would love for you to do, if you have some time, if you have 15 to 45 seconds right now, is to go ahead and review the podcast. It definitely means a lot because you're giving context to people who have never watched. Maybe they're looking for a reason to watch the podcast, and you've just taken a bit of extra time to say why you enjoyed it, to say what you've got out of it and how it's helped you and your brand. So I would absolutely love that if you have 15 to 45 seconds just to go ahead and leave a review. And with that being said, appreciate you tuning in, and I'll see you in the next episode.